John Carlson at his Pilchuck farm mated home stallion Mr. Mustard with the mare Speedy Pet, and in doing a foal for mare trade, Fraser Morrison of Anacortes made an astute selection among the 6 yearlings. This fine-looking colt was named Mustard Plaster, and though he didn't show much ability at age 2, his career went on a meteoric rise of fantastic finishes. Trained by Roy Steele, he won 2 1962 Longacre Stakes as a 3-year-old, the Tacoma Handicap in an up-at-the-wire finish, and the British Columbia Handicap against older horses. Doug McPhee began a career in racing in the early 1960s, walking hots for trainer Steele.
Our good horse in those days was Mustard Plaster. He was a beauty. He did quite well for Roy as a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. He was a stud horse, so he was a handful. He could be at times. But yeah, he was fine. I don't remember him causing too much trouble, but he was a good feeling horse. I remember that about him. A shiny copper penny. He was a real pretty color. We were all watching him and seeing what he would do down there when he went to California. You know. There was no surprise there that he turned out to be the way he was. Yet this horse had a real awesome, I've never seen a horse since that had the move last quarter mile that Mustard Plaster had.
1963 was better yet. A Governor's Handicap victory, and next out, he was favored in the 28th Longacres Mile, finishing a close second to Full Regalia. He added the Bay Meadows Handicap for a Washington Horse of the Year title. The mid-1960s at Hollywood Park was an incredible time for Washington-bred runners. Travel Orb and Biggs would win the Californian, and both placed in the Hollywood Gold Cup. But first, it was Mustard Plaster. With 2 stakes wins at Golden Gate, including the San Francisco Mile, and stakes placings at Santa Anita and Hollywood Park, 1964 would be even better than before for Mustard Plaster. He won the prestigious Californian in June, setting a single race earnings record for a Washington bred, $70,500. It was undoubtedly the greatest field in history that a Washington bred horse had won. Behind Mustard Plaster that day was the reigning and 5-time Horse of the Year Kelso. Also, Cal-bred superstar Native Diver and that season's Hollywood Gold Cup winner, Colorado King. This rare Hollywood Park video, provided by archivist Kip Hannon, covers Mustard Plaster's next start, the Hollywood Gold Cup.
Number 10 is Mustard Plaster, winner of the Californian, with Jack Leonard aboard, the Washington State entry. And number 11 is Cadiz, with Bill Harmatz. Cadiz was the winner of the Gold Cup last year. And if we had to pick out one more horse for you to talk about, Charlie, I guess it would be Mustard Plaster.
Yeah, I think he's one of the most consistent horses I ever saw, and he's always tough to beat.
Number 10 is Mustard Plaster. Mustard Plaster is owned by Mr. and Mrs. Fraser Morrison. Bill Peterson is the trainer. The rider is Jack Leonard, and the weight is 119 pounds. The number 10 horse, Mustard Plaster, is the exact opposite of Native Diver. He saves his run for the last part and is not usually close the first part of the race. He'll be closing strongly. He won the Californian here. And there they go. Native Diver is going to the front. Viking Spirit is second. Bold Commander third. Final Command is fourth. Grillside fifth. Colorado King sixth on the rail. Desert Chief, Mr. Consistency, Jealousy, Cadiz, and Mustard Plaster. Going by the stand the first time, it's Native Diver in front by 3 lengths. Into the stretch, it's Colorado King on the outside by a head. Native Diver is second by 2 lengths. Viking Spirit third, and here comes Mustard Plaster in the middle of the track. It's Colorado King in front, Native Diver, and Mustard Plaster. Colorado King in front, and Colorado King is the winner by a length and a half. Mustard Plaster second by a length.
Washington Hall of Fame jockey Jack Leonard rode Mustard Plaster in the Californian and Gold Cup races.
Oh, I didn't have to take him back. He took himself back. If he didn't, he just sit on him. He just kept dropping back. So he dropped back, and we was 24 lengths out of him at one time. And he made his run, and he just smoked everybody. It was just running away from the field, really. It was a great race. Mustard Plaster was my all-time favorite. Just loved him. He ran so hard, had a great personality. Came from way behind and just smoked him down the stretch. It was a thrill to ride him because he was passing so many horses so fast. It was he was really something.
Mustard Plaster would conclude 1964 with Washington-bred single-season record earnings of over $166,000 and his second consecutive State Horse of the Year title. The earnings mark would stand until 1979. Standing at stud in Washington and California, he would sire 75 foals and 4 stakes winners, one of them being Calico, winner of the Washington Lassie Stakes. Record setter, stretch running superstar, and conqueror of champions, Mustard Plaster joins the Washington Racing Hall of Fame.